What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. We have made it to episode 6 of 7 Deadly Spins. I appreciate the support you guys have shown for this new series. I've really enjoyed doing this. As always, please hit that like and subscribe if you have not. It helps this channel tremendously, helps the exposure, and helps get these bands exposure as well. I've got some eBay auctions that are going to be going up later today or possibly tomorrow. I'm going to link up my eBay in the description. Unfortunately, it's only going to be for US buyers because of the way the Postal Service is doing right now. I apologize for that, but I'm trying to scrape together the funds to go on and get the t-shirts printed up for this channel. I'm going to try to do that. I have some other big things on the way that I cannot speak on at this moment, but that is stuff for the future that I'm trying to build on right now. So definitely, if you're in the U.S., check those out. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. There's going to be some CDs, wrestling figures, even some football cards. So if you're into that type stuff, just check it out. Throw a bid my way. Help your boy out, that type stuff. Enough of me pandering to you for your hard-earned money. I'm going to show you some things that you can go spend your hard-earned money on elsewhere. I've got 7 fantastic releases that I am excited to show you guys today. A couple that are just super new that it just came out. One actually an EP that isn't officially released until tomorrow, so you kind of get a little sneak peek at that. We're just going to jump right into this. All of these, I believe, that I'm going to show today are 2020 releases and have not been out very long at all. So this is a lot of new stuff for you guys to kind of sink your teeth into, find some new stuff, and go about building your collection that way. First up is an album that I was super excited when I found out that they were releasing new material. I absolutely fell in love with their previous release, Unsettling Whispers. It was my introduction to the band. I fell in love with the band from that point. I knew that they were destined for big things, and this album did not disappoint. I'm talking about Gaerea, I believe is how you pronounce that, with their newest release, Limbo. This has not been out long at all. It was released July 24th on Season of Mist. The production value on this album is super clean. It improved dramatically from some of their previous stuff. I know with black metal, production values being super crisp and super clean can sometimes kind of take away from the actual feel of the music. I do not feel that happened in this case. This is an amazing release. Unsettling Whispers was one that kind of opened my eyes, and I fell in love with that album. I believe that year it ended pretty close to the top of my end of the year list. It might have been like number 3. I believe Limbo has one-upped Unsettling Whispers. It is you can sense the progression of the band moving forward on this. The musicianship has improved. The maturity on this album is there. You could see, as it's hard to put into words, but you can see the progression of the band moving forward. I like the way they're going with their sound, and I absolutely am head over heels in love with this release. The crisp, clean production that I'm speaking of on this, kind of you have like this traditional black metal sound with a crisp production. The drums are allowed to stand out in a way that they should, because the drumming on this release is probably the highest point on this release. The drumming is absolutely phenomenal. I could listen to this album over and over and over. It has this larger than life feel. It's almost a intoxicating feel to this release. Amazing stuff. If you haven't checked out Gaerea, I highly recommend this. This will be on my end of the year list. There is no doubt whatsoever. I could sit here and talk this whole video about this album. I'm not going to. All I'm going to say, if you're into this, if you're into black metal, definitely check it out. Don't let the modern production on that kind of shy you away from that. Especially, I know some black metal fans will kind of shy away just from modern production. Do not do that, because you're doing yourself a disservice. It is an amazing release, and it definitely warrants your attention. Next up, we have some thrashy death metal out of Memphis, Tennessee, very close to home for me. This is Shards of Humanity with Code Logic. This is their newest release. Came out, I think in April, this was released. It is a joint release between Unspeakable Acts and Dark Descent Records. Anytime you see Unspeakable Acts, anytime you see Dark Descent, you know you're in for a treat. This is no different. This is a kind of, they lean more of like towards a technical death metal with like some thrashy riffs going on in this. It's not as I believe their first album, Fractured Frequencies, that was one that was just touted so high it was going to be hard to follow that release up. This is a good follow-up. Is it on the same level? That's debatable. Some of you will probably say yes. Some will say no. Within the first few minutes of this album, the first track, Cosmic Shield, it is an instrumental track. It comes in at about 3 minutes. You get a undeniable feel of what you're in for this album in entirety. The name to that track, Cosmic Shield, fits perfectly with the soundscapes that you receive in that instrumental track. Then the vocals kick in. Has a bit more guttural, deeper type vocals than you would probably expect from a kind of thrashy death metal outfit. They lean more towards like the technical side, what you expect from a technical or even sometimes brutal death metal band. The vocals kind of work well. It's something different, and it's something I can appreciate coming from this. Maybe I hold this band just a little bit closer to the heart than some of you will, just because they're kind of close to home to me. But I do enjoy everything that I've heard from this band so far. As I said, it's just kind of fast-paced tech death with some just thrashy riffs. Fantastic stuff. I do enjoy this, and definitely check this one out. I'm going to link up everything that I'm showing today in the description. They will be in order. That way you can go check this stuff out for your own, for yourself. That type of stuff. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, moving on. We have some experimental death metal out of Portland. I say experimental death metal just for a lack of a better term. This is Aseitas, I believe is how you pronounce that. I apologize. Aseitas maybe is how you pronounce it. I don't know. I'm sorry for butchering that. With their release entitled False Peace. This was released on July 10th through Translations Lost Records. Translations Lost, just the name of the label that this is on, works well for the album. There's so much going on this. It's experimental. Anytime you try to describe just with words without actually showing the music for someone to listen to, it's hard to explain something simply as experimental. It is very abrasive at times, but along with that abrasiveness comes this almost infectious sound. It makes you want to keep listening. Upon like further listens into this, you find new things, and it has moments of like harmonious stuff going on. Then it slaps you with the abrasive. It'll knock your teeth straight out of your face. It's kind of just in this little fold out. I'm not a big fan of these little fold out digis, but that's what they released it on. I love that artwork. House of Turin, which is track number 4. That's one that I absolutely fell in love with. That's one that has that almost abrasive. That was the notes that I took on this. It was abrasive and infectious at the same time. It was very abrasive. It was kind of making me want to push away, and then if there was something in it just drawing me back in over and over and over. And it's like 70 minutes of material on this release, and it draws you in. There's times where you feel like it's just going to push you away, and you're going to want to move on to something else, and before you know it, you are drawn back into the release, and you cannot look away. It's something that I definitely want to spend more time with. I think there's going to be stuff that I find over and over with each new listen on this. There was a track on here too called Blood into Oil. That's another one that has kind of like that harmonious feel going on. Has you in, it suckers you in with that kind of harmonious feel, and then it just starts slapping you around. Fantastic stuff here. I am super stoked to have stumbled upon this band. This is something that was absolutely brand new to me. I believe it's like their 3rd release. I could be wrong on that. But once again, Portland putting out another phenomenal release for this year. I mean, just Portland over and over. If I see Portland, if I see Austin, Texas, and lately like San Francisco, Oakland area, if I see stuff like that, if I see stuff from those particular areas coming out, I definitely just jump on it and want to check it out, because I've found so much fantastic material coming from those regions as of late. It's been ridiculous. Next up, we have an EP that I was speaking about earlier that officially isn't even released yet. It comes out tomorrow. This is Heisenberg with EP Yo. This is slamming brutal death metal. It's only 4 tracks long. It is good stuff. If you know Heisenberg, you already know what you're getting into. It's just Breaking Bad themed slamming brutal death metal. if you want to cook meth and listen to slams, this is your stuff. It's out of Long Island, New York. And one thing that I have to say is a testament to this little EP is and to Heisenberg as a whole is that the vocals on this are phenomenal. They are a lot of times in brutal death metal, especially slamming brutal death metal. The vocals are almost like an afterthought. The vocals are a lot of times completely. Sometimes they're a detriment to the release. With Heisenberg, that is absolutely not the case. The vocals on this are astonishing. It's 4 tracks. The CD actually has 8 tracks because you have your 4 tracks and then you have the 4 tracks again as instrumentals. And when you go back and you listen to those instrumentals, you actually see how much the vocals give you extra within the release. They are that strong and definitely worth your while to checking it out. If you're into brutal death metal, I recommend you checking out some Heisenberg. It's just in the little folder slipcase. As I said, it officially releases tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and post that Bandcamp link up for that. Definitely get in, support those guys from Long Island. It's got some crisp production on that one as well, so good stuff there. Next up, we have a release out of Finland. This is Lantern with their newest release entitled Dimensions. This was released July 10th through Dark Descent Records. Another time, you see that Dark Descent logo, and you already know you're in for something good. I believe this is the 3rd release from Lantern. In this release, Lantern has kind of always been known as like this blackened death metal outfit. They've kind of set aside some of the atmospheres and some of the reverb, I guess, some of the static and atmospheres, and some of that blackened vibe is kind of lost on this. It kind of leans more to me like a progressive style death metal. It has some techie feel going on with this as well. It's got some meaty and chunky stuff going on throughout this as well. I think with the lack of reverb, the lack of atmosphere, like the lack of I'm trying to put this, like the production value on this, like the atmospheres that were built through static, the atmospheres that were built through reverb, with those being gone, the guitar tones on this are actually able to shine a little bit more than they have been in some of their previous albums. Is this up there with their debut? Man, the sounds are so much different that I can't, it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges. I think this is a strong release. I definitely, I highly recommend you check this one out as well. If all you've heard is their previous material and you're not expecting, you might be taken aback at first just because the sound has changed directions a little bit. I think it works. I like this. I like to see where they're going with this. I think it's just a maturity type thing for the band moving forward. 6 tracks, ranks in about 30 minutes, so nothing just overstays its welcome, just too terribly long. Good stuff here. I think my favorite track on this was Shrine of Revelation. Just kind of this occulty type feel, horror, not so much horror, but just kind of occult, dark, melancholy stuff going on that. So good stuff out of Finland there. Next up is an album in my, I believe it was my Metalhead Box video that I just did recently. People were asking about the shirt that I was wearing. They were like, they thought it was a Nile shirt, but it was a new logo for Nile or something. They were kind of lost. They weren't quite sure. Someone actually commented on the video and asked about that. I had a couple private messages, and someone hit me up on Instagram asking what was actually on the shirt that I had on in that video. Well, the shirt was for this band, Nite. It was not Nile. It is a band called Nite. This is a band out of San Francisco. They are... Man, this is going to be hard. This is almost like a black and roll, that for a lack of a better term. It's like a traditional heavy metal band with some blackened vocals. Reminds me a lot of Cloak. I know that I absolutely fell in love with Cloak within the last year or two, and this band kind of gives me that feel. It is almost like, I think I read a comment on their Bandcamp that someone left that I absolutely loved. It was, this feels like someone spilled Iron Maiden all over my black metal collection, and that's pretty much what you get from Nite. This is good stuff. This is a label that I had not heard of previously. It is Creator Destructor Records, so now I'm gonna have to put my finger on the pulse of Creator Destructor, see what else that they're coming out with if they were able to find something like this. I'm not sure if I said the name of the album. This is Nite with the Darkness, Silence, Mirror, Flame. Very occult, very dark themes going on this. I think Metal Archives describe their lyrical themes as occult, horror, evil type stuff. So yeah, definitely check it out. I also heard someone a comment, or read a comment that someone posted that said there's so many different elements of different styles of heavy metal going on here. If someone were to ask you that had never heard any heavy metal album before in their life, this would be something that you could put on and they could get a taste for that. This is the debut release from this band, so I am definitely excited to see where they're going from this. It is a band that I'm going to keep my eye on and look forward to hearing more stuff from in the future. And then last but not least, we have the newest. I had to throw one $20 spin, just with the way that these video series has been going. You've got $20 spin, you've got Dark Descent and Unspeakable Acts just constantly putting out material that makes these videos. We have Terminal Nation with their debut release, Holocene, Extinction. This is also another debut full length, and I think $20 spin, man, they've been knocking it out of the park, finding the material, this new material to put out recently. This is a band out of Little Rock, Arkansas. I was a bit surprised to find out that they were from Little Rock. It's death metal that has, I guess it's kind of hardcore infused death metal. There are some very, very, very significant hardcore elements going on in this. It gives the music this extra feel of just heaviness. It is just a very, very heavy, coarse death metal going on in this. It's kind of got this anti-fascist, anti-capitalism theme going on throughout. It kind of worried me when I heard the title track because it almost had this, it started out so good and it had this, almost went to this feel of hold your hands, raise your hands in unity, hardcore type stuff, and I'm not the biggest fan for that. There is a time and place for everything. With the lyrical themes that this band represents, with the themes that they're putting out there, I was afraid the whole album was going to kind of lean towards that way. Personally, I find more appreciation for albums. I find more on a personal level for albums that lean towards the melancholy, leans towards loss, leans towards isolationism. That's just something that I can relate with, something that I tend to lean towards. But I was not disappointed with this because I like the track number 9, Expired Utopia, kind of felt that it filled that need for me. It filled that void that I thought I was going to have from this release. Pretty good stuff here. As a debut goes, I'm very impressed with this. It is pretty good stuff. I think this band's going to be going places just because some of their ideologies, I can't speak today. Some of their lyrical themes, some of their political leanings and that type stuff, and their music is something that is very much on the forefront these days. It is very much in the spotlight. They are pretty good at their craft, so I could see this band getting and garnering a lot of attention, and it's well deserved because they are very good at what they do. That's all I've got for this episode. I hope you guys check this stuff out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Go check out those eBay auctions. That eBay will be posted up. As I said, that will probably be up later today or tomorrow. Those will, so that you can help me get my shirts going. And I have some bigger and better stuff than shirts coming in the future. I just can't get into that, but you can't build an empire in a day. So we're working on it. We're getting there. 2020 has been a kick in the pants for everybody, but we're going to make it through, and there are bigger things on the horizon. Stay metal, stay classy. Please, please, please hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you all very soon. I promise.